Welcome language learners to the English Grammar Mastery course. Are you ready to dive into the fascinating world of English grammar? My name is Sai Sarath, and in this lesson, we will be exploring the building blocks of English language, parts of speech. Understanding these categories of words is essential for mastering sentence structure and composition. Don't worry if you are new to this. I'm here to guide you through each part of speech and help you become a grammar pro. And if you have any questions, just ask me in the Q&A section or shoot me an email. So let's get started on this exciting journey of discovering the parts of speech. Every sentence that we use in our day-to-day life to communicate is made up of several words combined together. To make things easy for us to identify these words, they have been categorized into 8 parts depending on their usage and function. Parts of speech is a term used in traditional grammar for these 8 main categories into which words are classified according to their functions in sentences. The 8 main parts of speech are nouns, pronouns, adjectives, verb, adverb, preposition, conjunction, and interjection. Although most of the English grammar books will mention 8 parts of speech, there is another part of speech which rose to its prominence because of its importance and common usage: articles and determiners. All of these 9 parts of speech are also known as word classes and are considered as the building blocks of grammar. Have you ever thought why some words in English language seem to evolve over time while others remain the same? This is where the concept of open and closed classes of parts of speech comes into picture. Open classes such as nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs are constantly evolving, and new words can be added to these categories as language develops. For example, words like selfie and meme have been added to the noun category in recent years. On the other hand, closed classes, including pronouns, prepositions, conjunctions, articles, and interjections, remain relatively static over time. For instance, we still use the same pronouns like he, she, and they that were used centuries ago. Now let us dive into each of these parts of speech, starting with the nouns. Nouns, also known as naming words, are an essential part of English language. They are used to name people, places, animals, things, and emotions, and can be found in almost every sentence that we use. Picture this. You are walking through a park and you see a cute little puppy. That puppy is a noun. Let's try another example. In the sentence, Shreya likes mangoes, both Shreya and mangoes are nouns. Shreya is the name of a person and mangoes is the name of a fruit. Similarly, in the sentence, Rahul is playing football, Rahul and football are both nouns. Rahul is the name of a person and football is the name of a game. Nouns can also be used to name places, as in the sentence, Vishakhapatnam is a beautiful city. Vishakhapatnam is the name of a city, and city is the name of place inhabited by people. Now let us move on to the next part of speech, pronoun. Pronouns are an essential part of English language, as these are the words used in place of nouns. The use of pronouns makes sentences less repetitive and more concise. To remember what a pronoun is, just think of the keyword replaces a noun. Let's take a look at some examples. In the sentence, Alex is in class 6th, he is a good student, the word he is used in place of Alex, which is a noun. Therefore, he is an example of pronoun. Similarly, in the sentence, she bought a bicycle, it is yellow. The word she is used in place of the name of a girl, and the word it is used in place of bicycle, which is a noun. So she and it are both examples of pronouns. Pronouns can also be used to refer to group of people. For example, in the sentence, they are talking, the word they is used to denote a group of people without naming each individual. Now let us learn about the next part of speech, adjective. Adjective is a part of speech that describes the quality of a person, place, animal, or thing. These are the words used to add something to the meaning of a noun. Think of adjectives as describing words. They tell us more about a noun, like how it looks, how it feels, or how it tastes. For example, in the sentence, this is a big cake, the word big is an adjective that tells us more about the noun cake. In the sentence, Ram ate a sweet mango, the word sweet is an adjective that describes the noun mango. Adjectives can also be used to describe the size of an object, as in the sentence, there is a huge tree in my garden. In this sentence, the word huge is used to describe the size of the noun tree. Understanding adjectives is crucial in making a sentence more interesting and descriptive. By using adjectives, we can paint a picture in the reader's mind and make our writing or speech more engaging. Now let us move on to the next part of speech, verbs. Verb is a part of speech that describes actions. It tells us what a noun is doing. They are probably the most important words in English language, and that is for two reasons. First, every sentence in English must have a verb. You cannot have sentences without verbs in English. And the second reason is that only verbs have tenses. I'm sure you know about the past tense, present tense, and future tense. That's how we talk about different times, and to do that, we change the forms of verbs. We will learn about them in our upcoming classes. But remember that verbs are very important. Let us see some examples to understand verbs. In the sentence, Sohail eats his dinner quickly, the word eats is telling us about an action. So eats is an example of a verb. In the sentence, we went to the market, the word went is again telling us about an action that happened. So went is an example of a verb. Let us take another example. In the sentence, Krishna is sleeping, the word sleeping is telling us about an action that the noun Krishna is doing. So sleeping is an example of a verb. Let us move on to the next part of speech, adverb. Adverbs have the unique ability to enhance the meaning of verbs, adjectives, or even other adverbs, giving us valuable insight into how, when, where, or to what extent an action takes place. These are the words that describe or modify verbs, adjectives, or other adverbs. Let us see some examples. In the sentence, Sham eats slowly, the word slowly reveals the manner in which Sham performs the action of eating. So, the word slowly is an example of an adverb. In the next sentence, Divya speaks softly. The word softly is describing or telling us how the action speaks was performed. So, the word softly is an example of an adverb. Let us take another example. In the sentence, he drives carefully, the word carefully is describing or giving more information about how the action drives was performed. So, the word carefully is an example of an adverb. As you can see, adverbs play a crucial role in adding depth and color to our language, enabling us to paint a more vivid picture of actions we describe. So the next time you want to provide more detail or context to your verbs, adjectives or other adverbs, don't forget the powerful impact of adverbs. Now let us learn about the next part of speech, prepositions. Prepositions are essential connectors that establish relationships between nouns or pronouns and other words in a sentence. Prepositions often indicate location, position, time, or direction. When you think of prepositions, remember the keyword relationship. To better understand prepositions, let us dive into some examples. In the sentence, they sat on the bench, the word on serves as a bridge between the pronoun they and the rest of the sentence. In this case, on is a preposition emphasizing the connection between sitting action and the location, the bench. Let us see another sentence. The brain is located inside the skull. Here, the preposition inside reveals the brain's location, forging a relationship between the noun brain and the rest of the sentence. Inside exemplifies the role of prepositions in demonstrating connections. Lastly, let's examine the sentence. The train is passing through the tunnel. The preposition through serves as a link between the noun train and the remaining words in the sentence. As a preposition through helps us visualize the train's movement relative to the tunnel. Now that we have unlocked the power of prepositions, let's move on to the seventh part of speech, conjunctions. A conjunction is a part of speech that joins together a group of words or sentences. Without conjunctions, you'd be forced to express every complex idea in a series of short sentences. Let me give you an example. Take a look at these sentences. I like cooking. I like eating. I don't like washing dishes. Instead of saying these three sentences, I can simply convey them in one sentence. I like cooking and eating, but I don't like washing dishes. Out of these two examples, the second one sounds more elegant as it helps us avoid the choppiness of multiple short sentences. Let us see another example where conjunctions are used. The weather is cloudy. It is not raining. Instead of using these two sentences, I can say, the weather is cloudy, but it is not raining. In this case, the word but is used to combine or join the two sentences. So, but is an example of a conjunction. Let us take another example. Jacob and I visited the museum last weekend. In this sentence, the word and is used to combine two words, Jacob, I. So, and is an example of a conjunction. Now, let us go through the next part of speech, interjections. Interjections are the words that shows us emotion, surprise, or emphasis and are followed by an exclamatory mark. For interjections, remember the keyword expressive words. Check out these examples to better understand the role of interjections. Hi, how are you? In this sentence, hi expresses a friendly greeting and serves as an interjection. Ouch, that hurts. Here, ouch conveys the feelings of pain, making it an interjection. Hooray, we won. In this example, hooray expresses excitement and celebration, acting as an interjection. Wow, what a beautiful car. In this case, wow demonstrates surprise or admiration, qualifying as an interjection. Through these examples, we can see that interjections add emotion and emphasis to our language, making our expressions more vivid and engaging. Okay, so we have now learnt about the 8 parts of speech, but sometimes teachers include articles as the ninth part of speech. So let us briefly learn about articles. An article is used before a noun and they help define a noun. They are like special adjective words that modify or describe the noun. Articles play a crucial role in English grammar as their correct usage can help to make your sentences clearer and more precise. In English grammar, there are two types of articles: definite articles and indefinite articles. The definite article the is used to refer to a specific noun which is already known by the speaker and the listener, whereas the indefinite article a or an is used to refer to a noun that is not specific and is not known by the speaker and the listener. Also, it is important to note that the word a is used before nouns that begin with consonant sounds, and the word an is used before nouns that begin with vowel sounds. Let us see some examples. I need a dictionary. The dictionary needs to be in English. In this sentence, first, we use the word a before dictionary because it is not specific and it is not known by the speaker and the listener. We use the word the before dictionary the second time because now we know which dictionary we are talking about. Also, notice that we used a before the first dictionary because it starts with a consonant. Let us see another example. In the sentence, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. We used an before apple because it starts with a vowel. In this example, the words an and the are examples of articles. Let us briefly recap the 9 parts of speech that we learnt in this lesson. Nouns represent names of people, places, things, or ideas. Pronouns replace nouns to avoid repetition. Adjectives describe or modify the nouns and pronouns. Verbs express action that is being performed. Adverbs modify the verbs, adjectives, or other adverbs, providing additional information. Prepositions show the relationship between a noun or pronoun and other words in the sentence. Conjunctions connect the words and sentences. Interjections express strong emotion or reaction. Articles define and specify nouns, helping to clarify their meaning in sentences. I hope you now have a better understanding of how to identify each part of speech in a sentence. To further strengthen your grasp on this topic, let's put your knowledge to test with a practice exercise. Here are your 5 sentences. Your task is to identify the different parts of speech in these sentences. Pause the video here and take a moment to think and identify different parts of speech in these sentences. This exercise will help you reinforce what you have learned about parts of speech and give you the confidence to identify them in various contexts. It is important to remember that many words in English can serve multiple functions in a sentence, meaning they can be more than one part of speech depending on the context. Let's take a look at some examples to better understand this concept. Consider the word well. Its function can vary based on the meaning it conveys within a sentence. In the sentence, are you well? Well is an adjective. In the sentence, she speaks well. Well is an adverb. In the sentence, well, that's expensive. Well is an interjection. When trying to identify the part of speech for a particular word, always consider the meaning and function of that word within the context of the sentence. Keep this in mind as you continue to practice and develop your understanding of English grammar. The more you work with language, the better you will become at distinguishing the various roles words can play in sentence. And with that, we have come to the end of our lesson, Parts of Speech. In the following lesson, we will dive deeper into each part of speech, providing you with more comprehensive understanding. After completing this lesson, feel free to review the materials provided below and assess your knowledge by taking the quiz included. I will see you in the next lesson. Thank you and happy learning.